Now we'll move on to the physical features and we'll start with the elevated regions. Now before going into the details, I hope everyone got your atlas with you, and while we are discussing through the slide, please mark these regions in your atlas and please revise it thoroughly. Okay, so the elevated regions, as you can see in this picture, the brown colored regions as always is having high elevation, right? And this entire mountain stretch is called as the Rockies, right? It's a very important mountain. You have to remember the Rockies is in North America. Okay, and Andes is in South America, which we discussed in the previous session, right? So the Rockies mountain, and this entire stretch is actually Rockies, and there are certain regions which are named differently, right? So starting from the south, we got the Sierra del Sur, right? It's part of the Mexico. Then we are having the Sierra Madre, right? Now in previous session we have discussed the distinction between the Oriental and Occidental, right? Oriental is always on the east and Occidental is on the west. So the Sierra Madre is divided as two, like the Sierra Madre Oriental and Sierra Madre Occidental, right? So these are the mountain ranges. They're almost parallel to each other, which are actually part of the Rockies, which are there in the Mexico, right? So the three ranges here, the Sierra del Sur and Sierra Madre Oriental and Occidental, right? These are both in these three mountain ranges are in like the Mexico, right? Now next one, Sierra Nevada, which is right here, which is shared between like US, as well as some parts are extending in, it's part of the Rockies, but it's in the US, Sierra Nevada, right? Then we are having the coast range. Okay, coast range we got here, and through the coastal regions it's extending up to here, right? So this entire region is actually the coast range. Then in US itself we are having the Cascade range. Okay, the Cascade range. Now another very important mountain range, which is Appalachian Mountains. We got here the Appalachian Mountain. They are very, they're old fold mountains, and since they are very old mountains, we can find various resources diamond, and this region is famous for coal, right? Almost like in a large part of the chunk of US's the coal deposits are located along this region, and we can find the high grade gold here, like the anthracite can be found here. At the same time, the Rockies, they are they are young fold mountains, and here we will be able to find, say again, coal, but low grade coal like lignite and everything will be found. Such low grade carbon content will be less, and such low grade coal will be found in over the Rockies. But the Appalachian Mountains we will be able to find the the anthracite, high grade coal. Now there are few other ranges within part of the Appalachian Mountain itself.
We have curated our most awaited course, Current Affairs Plus, the plus approach to current affairs. In CAP, all geography topics relevant for the prelims 2021 examination is covered in detail, so that you will not miss on any questions from geography path. We have also included a map session to give you a detailed understanding for the places in news. To know more about CAP, please click on the link given in the description below. Why wait? Enroll to our current affairs program and ensure your seat in mains 2021.
We have to, as you can see here in the picture, like Alingli Mountains. Then we have Brett Mountains, which actually means the region where elevation is decreasing, right? So these are actually relatively plain regions, as you can see from the color coded map. Then we got the Blue Ridges, as well as Notre Dame Mountains are extending all the way up to here, right? So this entire stretch is actually the Appalachian Mountains, right? They got different names here. Okay, the next important mountain range is the Mackenzie Mountain Range, which is at top, we have got the Mackenzie Mountain Range. So this is again on having good height, elevation is higher here. Then the next one, the Alaskan Range, and the earlier I told you, the McKinley is the highest peak in the North America, which is situated here, right? So McKinley is actually part of the Alaskan Range. Then we got the Brooks Range towards the north, and then the 11th region, as I mentioned earlier, the McKinley peak. Now regarding Greenland, the highest peak in the Greenland is the Gunjon, right? This peak here, and the entire almost like around 80% of the Greenland is covered with ice cap, and it's actually part of like the Denmark, like politically, and this region frequently appears in news because of the climate change and related like loss of ice cover, right? Anyway, the fun fact to remember, the Davis Strait is separating the Greenland from the Canada, and this region is the Baffin Island, right? And this is the Baffin Bay. Okay, so these are the things regarding the mountains. Now we need to look at some more details regarding the elevation. So first one, let's start with the Canadian Shield. Right, shield means it's actually part of the oldest mountain range. We can date it back to even the Pangaea, and so these are the very old ranges, and their elevation would be less because they are being eroded away, right? And this region here, the Laurentian Plateau. Okay, Laurentian Plateau, and the Laurentian Plateau, it's famous for the Laurentian, the name of a climatic region, right? The Laurentian climate is found over here, and this is the Laurentian uplands. And then we got few other plateau regions like the Ozark Plateau. Then we are having the Edward Plateau. Then here, we got the Columbian Plateau as well as the Colorado Plateau. So the important plateaus that you need to keep in mind: the Laurentian Plateau, the Ozark Plateau, Edward Plateau, Colorado Plateau, and the Columbia Plateau. Here we got a river named Columbia. So it's a term which you can get confused with, Columbia Plateau, right? So these are in fact the elevated regions. We have seen the mountains, plateaus, and the other shield regions, right? Now let's take a look at the important lakes as well as rivers.